College is supposed to be the best years of your life, a time of freedom, new friendships, and endless possibilities. You step into your dorm room expecting a sanctuary, a place to make memories and feel safe. But what if that sanctuary becomes the source of your deepest fears? The stories you're about to hear are true accounts of students whose dorm rooms turned into nightmares. So, turn down the lights and prepare to discover what really happened behind the closed doors of these college dorms. Our first story takes us to a university in Ohio, where freshman Sarah enjoyed her own single dorm room, until one night changed everything. It was just after midnight. Sarah was studying, the floor eerily quiet, when she heard a rhythmic jiggling at her door. At first, she thought it was a drunk student, but the sound grew louder, more insistent. Peering through the peephole, she saw a gaunt, wild-eyed man, definitely not a student, shaking her door handle. He started pounding, demanding to be let in, his voice low and threatening. Sarah, terrified, called 911 as the man's pounding escalated to violent attempts to break down the door. The wood began to splinter. She grabbed a heavy textbook, her only defense, and braced herself. Minutes dragged by. The man screamed threats, trying to pry the lock open. Just as the door was about to give, the pounding stopped. Silence. Then footsteps, multiple, purposeful. Campus security arrived, tackling the intruder. It had taken them 25 agonizing minutes. The aftermath was chilling. Her door was destroyed. The man arrested. He had no connection to the university. He'd simply slipped in behind a student and tried random doors. Sarah was moved to a new room, but the fear lingered. For the rest of college, she barricaded her door every night, haunted by the randomness of the attack. The man never explained why he targeted her. For Sarah, the most terrifying part was knowing a thin door was all that stood between her and something truly horrific. The sense of safety she once felt in her dorm was gone forever. She never slept soundly again, always listening for footsteps in the hall. The midnight visitor was gone, but the fear he left behind became her new roommate. Sometimes the greatest danger isn't outside, it's right on the other side of your own door. Sarah's story is a chilling reminder. Even the safest places can become sites of terror in an instant. The university increased security, but for Sarah, the damage was done. She learned that true horror can strike anywhere, at any time, and sometimes you never get the answers you need to feel safe again. The only thing left is the memory and the fear. That night changed her forever. Our second story takes us to Texas, where Marcus, a focused engineering student, was assigned a new roommate, Jake. At first, Jake seemed normal, friendly, outgoing. But soon, Marcus noticed oddities. Items moved, whispered phone calls, and parties on random weeknights. The real trouble began when Marcus found his private photos open on his laptop. Jake had been snooping. Confrontation was impossible. Jake always had an excuse, always a smile. Marcus reported it to the RA, but without proof, nothing changed. Then things escalated. Personal items vanished. A hoodie, a watch, a cherished photo. Marcus started locking up his valuables, but the tension was unbearable. One day, pretending to leave for class, Marcus caught Jake rummaging through his things, taking photos of his laundry with a disposable camera. Horrified, Marcus went to campus police. A search revealed Jake's secret stash: stolen items, photo albums filled with pictures of Marcus's belongings, even photos of Marcus sleeping. Jake was expelled and faced criminal charges, but never explained his obsession. Marcus was moved to a new room, but the psychological scars remained. He realized he'd been living with someone who systematically invaded every aspect of his life. The experience shattered his sense of privacy and trust. Even after Jake was gone, Marcus felt watched, exposed. The person he was supposed to trust most, his roommate, had turned his life into a nightmare. It's a reminder that sometimes the real horror isn't a stranger, but the person sleeping just a few feet away. Marcus's story is a warning. You never really know who you're living with. The invasion wasn't physical, but it was deeply violating. He learned to be cautious, to lock everything, to never let his guard down. The damage was done. His sanctuary was lost. Trust once broken is hard to rebuild. Marcus's college experience was forever changed by the roommate from hell. Sometimes, the scariest monsters are the ones who seem the most ordinary. And sometimes, you don't realize you're in danger until it's too late. Our final story takes us to a historic New England college, where Emma, a junior, moved into the oldest dorm on campus, Blackwood Hall, room 237. The room was charming, but from the first night, strange things happened. Electronics malfunctioned, her phone died inexplicably, and her TV turned on by itself at 3 to 17 a.m., always to a true crime channel. Emma tried to rationalize it, blaming old wiring, but the unease grew. Whispers echoed in the silence, her name drawn out in raspy sighs. The room was always cold, her friends refused to stay long. One afternoon, a book, The Shining, flew off her shelf, landing in the center of the room. That night, scratching noises came from her closet, slow and deliberate. Too scared to move, Emma waited until morning to check. Inside, she found a single word traced in the dust: "Get." Terrified, she ran to the housing office and demanded a new room. The administrator didn't dismiss her. Instead, she revealed a thick file of complaints about room 237. Electronics failing, cold spots, whispers, and the feeling of being watched. The room's history was tragic. In the 1970s, a troubled student took his own life there. The official time of death? 3 to 17 a.m. Emma realized she wasn't imagining things. She was living in a room marked by tragedy. She was moved to a new dorm, and the strange occurrences stopped immediately. Her electronics worked, the whispers vanished, and she could finally sleep. But she never forgot the message in the dust, or the feeling of being watched. The university had known about the room's history, but never warned students. Emma's experience is a chilling reminder that some places are stained by the past. Was the presence in room 237 angry, lonely, or just desperate to be heard? Emma didn't want to find out. She was just grateful she escaped. The thing in room 237 remains, waiting for the next unsuspecting student. Sometimes the threat isn't human. It's something you can't see or explain. Emma's story blurs the line between reality and the supernatural. The past can linger, haunting the present in ways we can't always understand. Some rooms are better left empty, and some warnings should never be ignored. Emma listened and survived. The stories of Sarah, Marcus, and Emma reveal how quickly college life can turn from exciting to terrifying. For Sarah, a locked door was all that stood between her and violence. Marcus's trust was shattered by the person he was supposed to know best. Emma's haunting proved that some places carry the weight of tragedy. Whether the threat is human or something unknown, these stories remind us that the scariest things can happen where we feel safest. Your dorm room should be a sanctuary, but sometimes it's anything but. Stay safe and remember, you never know what's on the other side of the door.